Welcome, pottery people. Shelly, that's me, from Nodakian Studios, away from Nodakian Studios. Whew, it's a tough one to say when I'm not there. Today I'm being housed by Dakota Media Access, and I'm sharing a little bit of my skills. I'm talking with a guest, and let's get started. Nodakian After Hours, here we go. So I'm going to throw a quick pot. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the guest we have today. We have teaching artist Deana Novak with us today. She actually came to town from away from town, and we'll let her talk to you more a bit about that. Very excited to have her, hear her story, see where she's been, where she's going, and what inspires her. I'm so excited to have you on today, Deana.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So, you've got 4 balls of clay there. You get 4 shots.
Oh, that's intimidating, right?
And then the trap door in the floor opens.
It's like the gong show. Somebody comes in, you need a gong.
Favorite. Oh. Chuck Barris used to be a childhood crush. We have the same hair. Can't help myself. So I'm so glad you could join us. Tell us about your adventure here today, how you got here.
Well, I am from Williston, so we had a nice little drive this morning. It actually was really nice and, I don't know, easy. We come to Bismarck quite a bit because it's Bismarck. Everybody wants to come here.
So that's a drive, though.
Yeah, it is. But my husband kind of does that for his job, so driving this is like nothing for him. So he's a professional.
It's like nothing. It's easy.
It's been a while. Let's see if I can even get it centered.
Oh, I think you'll be fine. Now, you have wheel experience.
I do, but it's been like long time. So I did it in high school a lot because it was something that was a favorite of mine. And I actually was the only sophomore that was allowed to take pottery. At the time, it was a junior-senior class only, but the art teacher kind of loved me. So she kind of vouched for me so I could take the junior-senior class when I was a sophomore.
Okay, and that went well for you, I'm guessing?
It did. I loved it. It was my favorite thing in the world. I spent most of my high school career in the art room, so.
I hear a lot of that. There's something special about high school, junior high art teachers that allow their students.
A wonderful, amazing teacher who is like so supportive, will go to bat for your art. Mm-hmm. I had a piece that in the student art show that was threatened to be dismantled by some angry community members, and she like went to bat for me and like was like, it's art, let her do her art. And I was just like, wow, like a teacher, will stand up for you. So that was always pretty cool.
When you say an angry community, I'm thinking pitchforks, and
it felt like that. It totally
I'm sure
felt
it did.
Like that.
I'm
yeah,
sure
I was a senior at the time, and it
trying
felt,
to get your footing under you.
Yeah, it felt really crazy, but it's awesome. Like, I went to public school, but had amazing public school art teachers.
Okay. Now, because you had such an amazing art experience in high school, junior high, maybe grade school, is that what drove you to become an artist, or helped push you into the teaching arts?
I think so, and everybody in my family is very artistic in some way or another. It kind of varies. Okay. My aunt is a really talented drawer. Not that she does it a lot. My mom is a crochet whiz.
Yeah.
She can make anything with yarn. And her eye for color is amazing. My grandma was a seamstress.
Okay.
My family owned a greenhouse for 50 years. So my mom was a flower artist. So, like, everybody's really artistic in my family, and I think it was just natural that I wanted to do creative stuff all the time.
Yeah. Sounds like a huge part. Everyone had a little touch of the resistance, a big part, big touch.
And
I love it.
My grandpa was a woodworker.
Okay.
Built cabinetry and all those kinds of things. So everybody kind of had something that was very creative in their life. So
what is your go-to? Tell me about your art.
Well, I'm kind of, so I had an art show a few years ago called Jack of All because I'm one of those people that kind of gets bored easily with things if I stick it out too long.
True story.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like I'm just collecting skills. Like I just, okay, that was a skill I learned and now I'm moving on to the next one.
Okay.
But currently, and for the past several years, I've really been focusing on collage and mixed media collage. It kind of started during the pandemic. My grandma was cleaning out some stuff, and I went over to help out. She had a bookshelf that had these amazing Better Homes and Gardens 70s DIY home decor books.
And the color in those books.
The pictures are just something totally out of this world. And I just really was inspired by them. And it started a series I did called Scandals. I took those 70s home decor books, and I started seeing all these amazing rooms, and I started thinking about the people that would live in those rooms and what they might be like. And then I started thinking about what it's like when back in the olden days, before the internet, when the neighbors were nosy and peeking out the curtains and wondering what everybody was doing. And so that's kind of where it all hit me, and I started doing Scandals, and that ended up with about 36 pieces.
Wow.
And
you ran with that.
I did. I would come up with an idea. I would create some characters. So the men have animal bodies and male heads, human heads. The women have human female bodies and animal heads.
Okay.
And they live in this little strange world, and they all have something going on. And I think, I thought of what would be scandalous in the 70s, somebody's having an affair with their secretary or some silly little thing like that. And I create names for the characters, and then I sit at my typewriter and I type out a little blurb to put under each piece, and then I let everybody else kind of fill in the details.
So you're working with magazines from the 70s, you're working with ideas from that era, and you said you just tap it out on a typewriter. Is this an actual typewriter with the little arms?
I had a friend, I said, hey, anybody have a typewriter? Because I had this, I was like, I need it to be typewritten. And one of my friends was like, I have one. I had it back from when I was in high school. Do you want it? And I was like, sure. Bought a new ribbon for it, and works beautifully.
And you found a ribbon for it?
I did. Online, and I actually use that typewriter in a lot of my art, not just the Scandals.
Okay. I've done a few pieces with old typewriter ribbon, the plastic ribbon, not the cloth. And it's kind of fun because you can peel it, glue it down, and then peel the plastic off, and it leaves. So lots of fun things.
Typewriters are amazing. I love outdated technology. I'm also a VHS collector. We have almost 600 tapes in our collection, and so I love outdated technology.
Why VHS?
Nostalgia.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I started watching movies.
The sounds.
And I like the sound. I love the graininess. I like the tracking, and it's trying to find its footing to make the best picture for you. I just think it's important to save actual media. Everything's streaming now, and I want physical things I can hold. And my husband and I just find tapes we think of movies that we loved as kids or movies that our parents enjoyed, and get them on VHS.
Any genre you lean towards? Comedy, horror?
Comedy and horror both. Some of my very favorite tapes are those. My husband paid an extraordinary amount of money for Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
It's kind of a hard tape to find, but it was something that I had fond memories of as a kid, and so he got it for me for Christmas. I usually get a VHS for Christmas, VHS or two. I'm also a huge Pee Wee Herman fan because he was a big part of my childhood. So I have everything Pee Wee on VHS.
Okay. Have you seen the recent?
I did. I bawled my eyes out through the entire thing because it just, he was such a huge part of my childhood. And I think he shaped some of my art even, as far as creating this zany playhouse atmosphere.
Okay.
I love that. I think it's something everybody should have in their life.
We lose it.
Yeah, and it's important. Play is important. And just being silly, that's something that I try to instill in the kids when I teach too. A lot of silliness. We get pretty crazy.
Ooh, that's a fine line. That's a very brave line for you to walk. I'm also a teaching artist, and oh boy, how do you?
It can get silly in a hurry, right?
It can get silly and then completely out of hand.
Yeah, I work with smaller groups, and I work with a lot of homeschool kids.
Okay.
We have a huge, thriving homeschool community in Williston. And I've formed amazing bonds with a lot of those homeschool groups. We have a lot of like groups, so they get together and provide activities for the kids, field trips for the kids. So I do art classes for a lot of those groups once a month. And some of the kids are in multiple groups, so they'll come see me multiple times per month.
They understand, hey, we are going to get silly, but we're also going
to make something.
Stick
We're
to
going to leave
business.
here with something that's, cool. We're going to have something to tell our mom and dads. We get silly easier if we send the parents away.
Oh,
Moms and dads have to go up to the gallery at the James and look at the art while the kids and I get silly and make stuff.
loud and clear. I think we're all a little bit more fun when our parents are out of the room.
I always say, tell your adults goodbye.
Now, is there something fun and silly for the adults to do?
I do. Yeah, we do. Like, I do adult classes on occasion, too, at the James. Hand building, usually, pottery. I love making the adults find their silliness, because so many adults lose their silliness. And so, like, I love doing pinch pop monsters with adults, because it forces them to get silly and use their imagination, which adults don't
That's
do
tough. That is.
So I do that. I've done like collage classes. Anything I do for adults, I try to bring an element of play. I don't want it to be super structured. I like them to have to use their creativity. I'm not a huge fan of paint and sips because like I feel like we shouldn't all be painting the exact same thing.
Okay.
So like I take a flip on that and do a paint switch. So you come with a partner, and then you paint on your canvas for 10, 15 minutes, and then we swap. And now you paint on your partner's canvas, and then we just swap, and we'll swap as many times as we feel comfortable. And you go home with two pieces of art that have this amazing connection, but are completely separate. I've also done it with like groups where we'll pass it around the whole room instead of just partners. And then you leave with a piece of art that has like 10 people's mark on it, and it's super fun.
That's one of the team building exercises I do in my studio as well. Basically, be nice to each other. You don't know how this person came about or what they're going through. You don't know who's going to get what piece. So treat each of them with respect.
That's right.
I've done that in the classroom before where it has not gone that smooth, where someone's just destroying every piece.
I had a birthday party where we did a paint and switch for a 10-year-old, and everybody left with a purple canvas.
Oh,
because we had a couple that
thought it would be funny.
To just, and then, but it was a lesson. Everybody left with a lesson.
Everybody learned a lesson that day. Oh, I love it. So tell me more about your hand building. So you are a clay worker.
On occasion.
On occasion, which intrigues me.
I love hand building because we don't have room at the James for wheels.
Okay.
And I'm like not super proficient at it, as you can tell. Hey, not too bad.
It's upright.
It's a little fat. It's probably really thick on the bottom.
That's okay.
But like, I like hand building because it's something that anybody can kind of take to real fast. And I don't like to teach things if I'm not 100% comfortable with them. Because I want my skills to be good enough for you to learn something from me. So if I feel like it's something that I'm not proficient in, then I don't want to teach it. I've had lots of people say, can you do wheel classes? And I go, if you see my pots, no, I cannot. But hand building I love. We don't have a lot of fancy tools, but we have what we need and everybody can make something. I do clay camp with the kiddos, so they come to see me every Tuesday for a whole month, and they'll make like 4 different hand-built projects. We always start with a pinch pot, and then we might turn that pinch pot into a monster or an animal or something fun or silly, because we're not going to just leave it a pot. That'd be boring, right? And then we do lots of like little sculpting, critter crazy, I say, and we make little animals and things and teach them, how to slip and score and all that kind of stuff. I like to do slab-built portraits, so they have to do a portrait of themselves out of clay.
Okay.
Which is super fun. We like to do I find just anything I can find that's different. Coil snails, the kids love that. Everybody loves making a snake. And then coiling it up and doing something new. So that's always fun. We do a lot of those.
Okay.
I do a lot of the hand-built classes, and then I also do some of the prefab ceramics where people can just come, hang out, glaze a mug, glaze a bowl, glaze a whatever. We do a lot of that.
Okay. So you love teaching hand building, but what do you like to make? Like if you got your studio to yourself for 3 months.
I wish I had a studio.
Let's say you take over the James for 3 months. It's all yours, no interruptions, no visitors, only pizza and clay.
I would love to work on some larger hand-built vessels. I love pinch potting, and I could probably pinch pot in my sleep. And so, like, I would just love to try to take it to new heights, make it bigger, try new things. But, like, right now, I'm just so focused with my collage that the only time I'm touching clay is when I'm teaching. So, I don't even have any clay at home right now.
Well, you'll probably take a little bit home with you today.
Probably. I'll have a little in my...
Actually, you're staying pretty clean, so good job. Good job. So big pieces in clay.
I would love to do something big, yeah.
How big?
I don't know, like 3 feet tall.
3 feet. Okay.
Like I don't know. I work small in my collage a lot of times, so I think when I try other medias, I like the idea of doing big.
Spreading out.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because images are only so big. You know, I can only work with what I have when you're doing collage. So when it's something like clay and I can spread my wings and do whatever I want, then I would love to go huge.
What are your thoughts about putting collage on the clay?
I guess I've never thought about that, but I'm always game to try new things and new techniques. Like I have so many art supplies because I think, oh, this would be awesome to try. And then I try it once and then I go, well, we'll just save that in case we think of something to do with it later. I have combined collage and cyanotype.
Okay.
I found out that I'm a failure at cyanotype. So I ended up with a stack of beautiful dark blue papers with no images on them because I can't seem to figure that step out for some reason.
Oh, no.
So then I just started taking all that beautiful blue paper that I couldn't throw away and putting collage on top of it.
That is a gorgeous blue.
And so that's like always fun. I've combined collage with my painting. I like watercolor and gouache, and both of those lend themselves to work with collage. I'm working on a new series right now called the Galactic Fembots.
Do tell. This sounds interesting.
I got a 1951 Sears and Roebuck catalog from a friend of mine, and it didn't have a cover. And my daughter called it the old-timey Amazon because that catalog has everything in it. You can buy chickens, you can get aprons, you can get lingerie. I mean, you can get you could buy a house. Mm-hmm. So I just loved all of the utilitarian stuff in there. So I started cutting out all these little things and creating these robot forms from them.
Okay.
Go into the car part section and, chop out a muffler or something, and then go to the kitchen section and I got a pot for a head, and I use the lingerie bodies. They don't, in those old-timey catalogs, they wouldn't really put a real woman in them, so it's just like a picture. So I use like the lingerie tops and bottoms to make my robot bodies, and then they have like a wrench for an arm, or So I just started chopping up this catalog, and then I needed something for them to go on, so I've done suminagashi paper marbling, and so I make some suminagashi papers, and then I started putting my fembots on top of them, and it kind of went away for a while. I stopped working on it. Everything I do kind of has its phases. I might work on it for a while and then decide to put it away and then come back to it.
Revisit.
So I've just come back to the fembots and started exploring them some more, made some more. I'm thinking it might be my next series that I'll propose for some gallery shows. Hopefully, we'll see. See what happens.
I want to see what happens.
Suminagashi is a lot of fun.
Tell me about this. This is a word that I have not heard. I've probably seen it and had no clue how to pronounce it.
More than likely, you've totally seen it. They float ink on top of water.
Okay.
And then drop your paper on top, and it sucks up that ink, and then you have that beautiful, colorful swirl on your paper.
Yeah, and they do that with everything nowadays, from sneakers to
Scarves and
to temporary tattoos.
I'm just doing it on paper. And I love experimenting with different types of paper, and I don't do it the traditional way, so you probably shouldn't even call it suminagashi because I'm constantly experimenting. I took a kiddie pool and filled it full of water and did huge ones, like big 18 by 24 sheets of paper.
Okay.
In a kiddie pool.
On a hot day?
In my backyard. Yeah, it's my dog's little swimming pool. And I filled it full of water and dripped ink on it, and I'm hoping to do some more of those this summer. I like summer because like I don't have a studio, so if I can be outside.
Yeah.
I have a very nice patio table that I spend a lot of time doing work at.
Is it collaged as well? Maybe a little paint covered?
It's a new one. It has a lot of paint and ink and stuff splattered on it. I just got it for Mother's Day last year.
Good, then it's well loved.
It is.
I'm sure
out there.
every splatter you can tell what project you were working on.
Our back patio has lots of fun little splatters and splashes of color because I'm out there throwing paint around or making backgrounds for my collage is fun. I'm constantly collecting old periodicals, and since I don't have a studio, they're kind of spread out everywhere. I got like a trunk of magazines in the garage and a tote of magazines in the basement and a cabinet full of magazines in the dining room.
Do you fear of running out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime. Like, I have wonderful friends and families that are so supportive of my art, and anytime they see an old catalog or an old magazine, they grab it for me, you know. They're always excited to bring me new stuff, and I get excited to see new things. And then there's always the good old eBay when you're really looking. For my Galactic Fembots, I actually had to go to eBay and find another 50s Sears and Roebuck's catalog because my beloved little fall and winter Sears and Roebuck's 51 is getting awfully chopped to bits. And I actually found the spring and summer of 1951. So I ordered it. So I have the whole year.
Keep going with the collection.
Yeah, so and then I found a Spiegel's catalog. And that has a lot of the same types of things as the Sears and Roebuck's. So
Okay. Now, when you get done with your collages and your Sears and Roebuck is just chopped, is minced up, do you go and make paper out of that, do more collage on?
I've thought about it. I mine my magazines for every image I can possibly find. So I keep them around probably much longer than they're needed. So they end up being just bitty bits sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should think about. The only thing is sometimes at that age, like with those Sears catalogs, the paper is so interesting. It's almost like tissue paper. It's so thin. I can't cut it with an X-Acto knife. No matter how sharp the blade is, it tears.
Gathers.
So I use tiny, little, very pointed, very sharp scissors, and I hand clip everything.
Oh my goodness.
If it is something more strong paper-wise, like a National Geographic is amazing. I have some beautiful 1940s National Geographics that I love. Or something with a little more substance. I tend to use a lot of naughty adult magazines in my artwork.
Okay.
So the paper of those is generally a little stronger, a little more resilient than that catalog paper.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so it's just, I'm also like I said, I'm very tactile. So like the paper, different types of paper really intrigues me.
I suppose it all reacts differently to your glue and...
Yeah, what kind of glue I'm using changes, what kind of cutting implements I'm using changes. I have some 30s and 40s magazines that scissors only, can't use that X-Acto knife because it just turns it to shreds.
That's so wild because an X-Acto knife will cut everything.
Yeah, and you think, okay, perfectly sharp blade, and then you start to run it along and it just tears the paper so crazy. And it's just something you get a feel for it. You feel the paper and you go, okay, scissors. What scissors? I have lots of scissors too. That becomes an obsession.
Question. I also have several scissors, but could I tell you where any of them are right now? This is why I don't have children. They would be like scissors. I know I have them, but I don't know where they are.
I actually have a bowl that I threw that was probably the most successful thing I've ever thrown on my wheel at home. And I actually fired it and glazed it, and it sits on the dining room table full of scissors.
That's just your scissor bowl.
It's just the scissors.
Gotcha.
And then I have little to-go. I'm constantly taking things places with me. So, I have to-go scissors. Every bag.
Ugh, there's nothing a good scissors can't do.
And I love Japanese scissors. They're the best.
What is the difference between a Japanese scissors and, I don't know, a standard... I can't even tell you a scissor brand here.
I like Fiskars.
Fiskars.
Well, and I'm also a quilter, so I have fabric scissors that don't touch paper either. I think the Japanese scissors are generally sharper. Okay. I just think they stay sharper longer.
Made of a different material?
They have to be. I'm not really certain. And they're generally cheaper too, which is kind of silly because you'd think, well, it's exotic. But I really like the Japanese scissors. Or the German scissors that they use for the paper cutting, Scherenschnitte, or it's a German word that I probably don't know how to say.
It sounded like you said it beautifully.
I am German heritage, so maybe. I don't know. But they're very sharp, little, tiny, thin scissors.
Okay.
For fancy cutting. I have a couple pairs of those that are really nice too.
Is it safe to say you're working on collage right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I constantly have probably 15, 20 pieces on the go because image hunting can take
I can't even imagine.
Days. I mean, I don't have a great memory, but for some reason I can always remember that I saw an image somewhere in my collection of magazines. So, for a piece, one of my pieces, I needed a picture of Colonel Sanders. It was very imperative that I found a picture of Colonel Sanders. And I knew in my brain that I had seen one somewhere in my collection. And I did have a picture. There was a KFC ad from 1973 in a travel magazine called Sunset that a friend of mine had found about 8 of them at a rummage sale and brought me. And I mean, it took me weeks to find that one, but I knew it was there.
Now, do you always search after an image, or do you search after texture and color as well?
It kind of depends. Sometimes an idea will form fairly quickly, and my ideas usually come from just paging through magazines. I do a lot of what I call harvesting, and I just kind of hang out and I just kind of page through these things that I have, and then I might see something, and then that one thing sparks an idea, and then I clip it out and I set it to the side, and then I start trying to build. But then the problem is, while you're building one, you end up building 12. Because now I've turned the page, and now, well, that is awesome, and I could do something with that, but it doesn't go with the thing that I just did, so now that's a whole nother thing. So then I think collage is a great ADHD form of art because you're just constantly looking and, oh, yeah, this one went all the way through to the bottom. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's meditative, I think, because I have to look for so long for things, but it's not a form of art I thought I was going to ever do.
Why? Why is that?
I think there's a lot of preconceived notions about collaging. It's not technically art because I'm using someone else's images, or I've ran into that before. I've had people tell me that. Well, you're just taking other people's images. You're not painting that. You're not And I'm like, yeah, but I'm taking somebody else's images and making them into something very different than what they started out as. So I think sometimes I thought that it maybe wasn't a viable, to begin with, I wasn't sure it was like a viable art form. But when you're inspired, you're inspired. You just go with it.
Would you do your collage on a large scale? You said you want to work big, big, big.
I actually have something in my brain that I've had rolling around in there for quite a while, and it's going to be, hopefully someday, something very large. I have all these little plastic organizers that I like harvest images and put them in to save them for later, because I might need them later. So I a lot of times, have little, if I need a pig, I got a whole bunch of pigs in this little container, and I can go sort through. So I think someday I would love to like take all of those images that I've clipped and put in little things and start trying to make something big. I have a frame that's kind of a goal size that I would like to try to fill.
Okay.
I felt like if I started with a frame, then it would give me a parameter to work within. Mm-hmm. I'm big on that too. I like to set myself like silly rules. Like I can only make a collage with this magazine. Every image has to come from this particular thing, and then it makes you work a little harder.
Keeps you contained as well.
Yeah, and I like to, I do that a lot, or I do something I call collage roulette, where I just take a magazine and like randomly open it and rip out 5 or 6 pages, and then I have to use whatever that gives me to make a collage.
Okay.
I feel like it forces me to be more creative. Forces me to use that.
Use what you have.
Yeah, and be okay with not going outside of that source.
I like that. Do you ever
taught me a lot though.
Collage has taught you a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the biggest lesson you learned from collage?
Patience. Because you're not going to find that image right away.
It's a long game, isn't it?
Yeah, like when you've got that something in your head, when you're a painter, it's in your head, you can put it out on the canvas. When you're doing collage, that idea is there, but if you don't have the right materials for it, it can't be done. So I love instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And
internet shopping, boo.
Right?
Running to the store, yay.
So I had to learn that sometimes a piece is going to sit there unfinished for an uncomfortable amount of time. And that's not always easy for me. I like things done. I'm that kind of person. I just want things like, let's get it done and move on.
I think that plays a lot into pottery as well and ceramics. A lot of people I talk to, especially when I do shows, well, can you make me this mug? I can pick it up tomorrow. They don't understand the process of it. And truth be told, I didn't either until I started it. I thought it was a lot more instant, but making a piece, I can't go and trim this right now. I can't play with that right now until
it can't have color yet. It can't.
Leathers up, and I can't add texture, so I have to wait. And then do I lose that spark, or is it still there? Can I get that spark back? I feel you with the collage.
And I think that's, the piece is more meaningful. If it takes a little longer and you have to look a little harder, or you have to work a little longer, it means a little more. Like I put a little more time into it, and it took me a little more time, and it made me slow down and really focus in on creating one thing. But I can still have 20 things going, so that's, I think, why I really like collage. And also learning so much about different time frames. Like picking up a magazine from the 1950s and it going, sugar helps you diet. It keeps you thin, and it keeps you active. And thinking about, oh, wow, or every ad is a cigarette ad in those old magazines. I mean, you can't get away from it.
I'm still on the sugar diet. And
sometimes I am too.
My trimming shield for my wheel is an old cigarette ad. So, things I love, cigarettes and sugar.
And teaching, like, my kiddo like, this is like what the world was like, you know? She's 13, and as far as like exposure to cigarettes, that's pretty small compared to what it was for me when I was a kid. Everybody smoked, you know?
And it was the coolest thing.
Yeah, now, like, she looks through my old magazines and she's just like, wow, like, did everybody smoke?
I think there were even ads that said smoking's good for your health.
Oh, yeah, they had the healthy cigarette, you know? And like, seeing all that, I love fashion from those time periods.
Do you incorporate any of this? Well, you obviously do in your pieces, but in your clothing, maybe
I do.
the way you talk, the way you...
I do. I wasn't even born in the 70s, but I have like a very, I don't know, nostalgic feel for it. And so I love 70s fashion, 70s color, 70s home decor. I just think it was so much more interesting than nowadays. You know, nowadays decorating, it's like beige and gray and ugh, and I'm not that person.
Okay.
My house is very eclectic. I have lots of colored walls, art on any surface I can put art on. And not my own. I love collecting art from all the other amazing artists in the world.
So when I was in school, someone came to my house, which was also another artist, and they said, "Oh my goodness, it's like a shrine to yourself in here." Ever since that person made that comment, I try so hard not to hang my own art in my house. I can't do it. I can't do it now.
When we bought our house, I had a lot of my own artwork up because we just didn't have anything else. But over all of the years that I've worked at the James Memorial and installed all the exhibits, I get to be the first person to see it when it comes out of the crate. So I've purchased a lot of amazing pieces from a lot of amazing artists.
Tell me about your collection.
I drink coffee every morning out of a mug you made. I bought it at the Capitol Fair a couple years ago.
Tripod with legs?
Nope, this one is a black one with raw clay
Oh,
dots.
burnout mug.
Yes, I love it. It's my favorite.
Did you know that on that mug where those bare spots are, you can drink your coffee and manicure your nails?
Oh.
Works as a great nail file. So if you're ever collaging, drinking coffee, and you're like, oh, I've got a jagged piece here, ripping that tender paper.
That is an awesome thing to know. I love that. I have a couple other handmade mugs from some other potters that I love, but I go through spurts where I mostly drink out of one, and lately it's been that one for the last couple years.
Yay.
I have pieces by a lot of North Dakota artists.
We've got some heavy hitters here in North Dakota, and people aren't aware of that.
The art scene in North Dakota is phenomenal. We have some of the most amazing artists here, and I love that I can call so many of them friends or colleagues, and you have that question and you go, who do I know that does this? And and it's easy to find somebody to reach out to, even if they're not in Williston. Minot, Bismarck, Jamestown. I know art people from everywhere, and I just love that. I think that's one of the best parts about North Dakota, is that we have such a varied, everybody thinks, I think, Western art, but we have everything here. And if you just look a little bit, you see it. And we have so many awesome galleries and community centers, and even in the tiniest little places. That's what is so awesome.
It's little gems in the rough.
And we seek those out when we go on road trips and stuff. That's our thing. My family, we go check out what's local, what's happening in the local art scene around here.
So you're road tripping right now.
Yep.
What are you guys planning on doing here in the old Bismarck-Mandan area?
Well, we're not staying too long. We're just staying tonight and going home tomorrow. We always got to make that Costco trip.
Costly trip.
And we don't have one of those in Williston. But we are going to run over and see Nicole's mural.
Oh, down at
the
Saratoga.
Yep, I'm super excited to go see that. We always make a stop at BDAC.
There's two of them, two brand new ones. The one at Saratoga, and then there's a flower native plants walking trail one out at United Tribes.
I follow all my North Dakota artist friends on Instagram too, so I love seeing what everybody's working on. And we always make a stop at BDAC. Gotta stop and see what's going on down there. Maybe we might stop at Baga if we get a chance.
Okay.
Those are just things we always do when we come to town.
And it's a weekday, so it's perfect for... Oh, it's Monday, though.
Yeah, some places.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
Yeah,
you'll hit
tomorrow
'em.
before we head home, we'll probably stop.
Get them all out on the road.
Yeah.
So, question. This is what I like to ask people. You're my second interview, so it's what I'm going to start liking to ask people. Infinite money in the world. No limitations. What would you do in your community? You're a teaching artist, so you huge in the community, huge in the gallery.
Yep.
You get your first eyes on things.
I would love to see more teaching artists in my area.
Okay.
I think that's awesome, and encouraging people to, because a lot of people I think get a little scared and they're like, well, I'm not a teacher. And I'm like, but you have this wealth of knowledge that you can share. Anybody can share their knowledge. You don't have to be a teacher. I think I would love to see more public art. That's something in Williston we're not as up on as like here in Bismarck.
Okay.
So if I had like an unlimited budget, I think I would definitely focus on public art. I would love to see more of that in our
Murals,
space.
Sculpture garden.
Yeah,
just
all of the
it.
above.
Okay.
Like, I just think it's so important for people to see art, because if they see it, then it's on their mind a little more. You know, we have a few things. We have a few murals in town. We have, like, they wrap some of the utility boxes, which is awesome. But I just would love to see, I guess, more community engagement in community art. I just think it would be awesome.
Okay. I like it. Getting the community involved. That's what we're doing right now. Other question. Totally selfish question. Because we have to be selfish just to take care of ourselves. Unlimited funds, no limitations, in your own artwork. Where would you go? What would you do right now?
I would love to have something I think of in my brain called a fun factory.
Fun fact. Now, this sounds very Pee-wee Playhouse.
That's the influence. I would love a place for myself. I like I said, I don't have a studio space, so my materials are spread out from here to there to everywhere, and I would love to just have a place where I could bury myself in old magazines and stay there.
Okay.
And not have to go, well, I got these magazines downstairs, so I'll go down there and grab those, and then I got, these are out in the garage, and these are over there, and so sometimes I feel like that makes my art take longer, because I have to search my whole house for everything.
I'm imagining old style library.
I just want something crazy,
with a ladder and roller
fun
skates,
and zany and weird, and I need a clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
A playhouse.
Love it. I'm so glad you got to join me today. I really enjoyed getting to chat with you, getting to know you a little bit, because I've never had a deep conversation with you, and I didn't know all these things. So I'm excited to see this collection that you're making of collage, and the pieces that you sent us, which were on the screen, gorgeous. If someone wants to reach out to you and say, hey, I want to buy you a cup of coffee and hear your story, more of your story, how can they reach you?
The best way is Instagram, probably, because I'm very active on there. I love doing stories. I like letting everybody know, whether they want to know or not, what I'm doing in the day. And so I'm always Inspired Mama on Instagram, and my work is always floating around in galleries all around the state. I'm getting stuff over in Minnesota.
Yes.
Working on getting down to Montana, and I've had stuff in South Dakota. So if you go to a gallery in North Dakota, you probably have maybe seen one of my pieces.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited that I could come do this today, because it's always fun to get messy.
Always. Every day, all day.
If I could be messy like this every day, collage is not this messy.
I want to say a super huge thank you to Dakota Media Access for hosting us today. The studio is gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous when we're done. I don't know. I mean, I've got a carpet shampooer. But huge thank you. Big appreciation. Nodakian After Hours. Let's see who and what we can inspire. Thank you.